We're back. Time for another edition of the Carolina Insider. Jones and Adam here with you. It's Rapid Reactions edition following a game that was anything but rapid. Carolina and Boston College in a slugfest. Tar Heels hold BC without a field goal, well, without any points, for the final 7 minutes and 13 seconds. Win the game by 11. And Adam, that stat explains how the Tar Heels were able to shoot 29.1% and win the game, the lowest field goal percentage in a victory in Tar Heel basketball history. That's more than 100 years and more than 3,000 games. The Tar Heels won the game, and that was the most important thing.
I thought Hubert Davis made a good point with Jones, which you'll see here shortly, that this was all there. At some point in this stretch, there was going to be a game that looked like this, just because of the repeated physical effort that's been required over the last 5-6 days or so. So you were going to have to win one like this sometime. Tonight was the night. Probably fortunate that Boston College was the opponent. The Eagles shot very poorly from the three-point line, 1 for 16, made their first one, missed all the rest. And that really helped the Tar Heels, because if they had been even average from the three-point line, this was a much different game.
Tar Heels, Adam, one thing they did very well was get to the free throw line. And that is something that has been a consistent positive for the Tar Heels this season, is they have done a good job, save a game or two, playing defense without fouling, and then on the other end, getting to the line and converting. They were 20 of 25 tonight. Yeah,
we always talk about free throws when they go poorly. We don't often mention them when they're the positive difference in a game, which really they were tonight. Carolina's offense wasn't very good otherwise, but they were able to get to the line enough with the right shooters to be able to put some points on the board at a night when points were at a premium.
So I had the opportunity to talk to Coach Davis. Adam chatted with Puff Johnson, who came in. He and Kerwin Walton gave Carolina some good minutes off the bench in this game. Walton with some points in the first half. Johnson with just some effort and hustle, and he was on the floor and not just diving to dive. He was getting loose balls. And so Adam talked to Puff about that and a lot more. So you'll hear my conversation with Coach Davis, Adam's chat with Puff Johnson, then we'll come back to wrap things up here on the Carolina Insider. Yeah, thank you, Dave. We're inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner. Tar Heels win it by 11 despite shooting just 29.1% from the field. That's the lowest in Carolina history.
I have to say that.
just stating the facts. Carolina did win the game despite some poor shooting, which, and I know you'd like to shoot it better, Coach, but found a way to win. Your thoughts after this one?
Yeah, I really felt like we were tired. It's been 3 hard games in 5 days, and, preparation in between of those games, and I just think we were a little tired, and we weren't sharp on both ends of the floor. We were turning the ball over defensively. We picked it up in the second half, and the great thing about it is we didn't shoot the ball well. We didn't take care of the basketball. We weren't efficient on the offensive end. But we found a way to win, and we got stops when we needed to get stops. We made baskets when we needed to make baskets, and something that I'm really proud of, we got to the free throw line. I think we made 20 out of 25, and so, there's many different ways to score, and that's why we always say we want to attack the paint through post or penetration, because there are going to be opportunities or nights where, you're not making jump shots. You're not scoring the basketball. So what are other ways that we can score? And one is free throw line, and 2 is offensive rebounds. And the biggest offensive rebound of the night was Leaky when he went to the offensive glass and be able to put it back. And I think that put us up by 7. So we didn't shoot the ball the way that we wanted to, but it was a win, and I'm very, very proud of them.
Coach, last couple of games, I think it's 4 in a row that Carolina shot less than 40% from the field. Does that go back to that pacing or pace and space that you talk so much about in ball and player movement?
Well, and that's one of the reasons why I felt like we were a little tired. Like, Boston College, from a defensive standpoint, they put a lot of pressure there in passing lanes. So because they're in passing lanes and because they pressure the ball, you're going to have to set your man up. You're going to have to work harder to catch the ball where you want to so we can run our plays like we do in shoot around. And we just weren't able to do that. We let their pressure bother us a number of times where Caleb and RJ were dribbling the ball and they dribbled off their foot because of the pressure. And so I just think a combination of 3 games in 5 days and the pressure and the intensity of Boston College defensively just led us to not be really efficient on the offensive end.
Felt like you got some nice contributions from your bench. Kerwin Walton came in, gave you a couple points in the first half. Puff Johnson came in with some energy in the second half.
Yeah, Kerwin was great in the first half. It's the first time he'd been to the free throw line. So he got fouled on a three, made all three, and then he hit a jump shot in the corner. In the second half, he was wide open in the corner right by the bench. I wish we could have hit him there and maybe got him a good look over there. But also Puff, he just plays hard. He just does. And so, when we're always talking about energy, effort, and toughness, we're not talking about Puff because every time he's on the floor, he gives everything that he has.
How do you help Armando right now? He's 2 of his last 23 from the field, which is obviously this is a guy who's led the ACC in field goal percentage all season long. How do you try and help him get back to the guy we've seen a large majority this year?
That's one of the things, that I've said is that, since he posted back-to-back 29 points, people have changed. Right. They've changed, and so they're working harder and not allowing him to catch the ball right near the basket. And I think it's a combination of things. One, Armando has to adjust to it. Teams are stepping up defensively to make sure that he doesn't catch the ball around the basket because that's an area where he's very successful. And I've got to do a better job of getting him the ball in different spots, different actions, so that he can get those looks that he gets around the basket pretty much all season. And so it's a combination of things. I'm glad we don't play till Saturday, so we got some time to fix some stuff and be ready to go on Saturday.
Just 2 more things, Coach. How'd you feel about your defense tonight? Second half, BC makes just 6 total field goals. They made their first 3 and then missed their last 15 after that.
I was really good with our defense in the latter part of the second half. Throughout the game, I felt like it was up and down. And I told them at the beginning of the second half, I felt like we were getting stops, but it wasn't we were stopping them. They were just missing shots. I thought towards the end we actually got stops. We were getting over screens. We were talking. We got hands up on shots. We were boxing out. We were getting rebounds. We weren't giving up layups. And so towards the end, we were able to get some really good stops on the defensive end, and that's what you need to do.
You mentioned next game on Saturday. I assume tomorrow's a day off. What's the plan here?
A day off,
right.
And so it is. One of the things that I told the guys is, this is a great opportunity tomorrow to refuel, not only physically but mentally and emotionally, and then come back. We'll still prepare a little bit, start the preparation tomorrow, but on the court, we'll get back at it on Friday and put ourselves in a good position to play a really good NC State team.
Carolina wins it 58-47. Tar Heels now 6-3 in ACC action. Coach, thank you for your time. Congratulations on the win. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. You don't have to put the 29% to start off the interview. You can start off with something positive, Jones. Right. Something positive like we won. Okay.
The Tar Heels won the game. BC shot just 33%. Guys, all that adds up to a Tar Heel victory, which is all that matters.
Yeah, it's all.
Carolina outlasts Boston College 58-47 alongside a guy who brought a lot of energy in the second half, Puff Johnson. Puff, third game back. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. The big thing I want to do as soon as I get in is just bring energy. Coach always talks about energy, effort, and toughness, and that's a big thing I feel like I can contribute, and that's regardless if you're making or missing shots, I feel like just no matter what can't change in your game is your energy, effort, and toughness on the offensive and defensive end.
In a game like that where it's not real pretty and there's not a whole lot of shots going in for either side, how can you bring that energy, effort, and toughness that is a difference-making type of play?
The big thing that we always just preach about, and Coach always tells us, is a win, no matter what. So no matter what you have to do, you have to make enough plays to win the game. So if it's diving for a loose ball or grabbing an offensive rebound, tipping it out, no matter what you do, the biggest thing is you have to just make winning plays.
2 games in the last 72 hours. What kind of physical toll does that take?
It takes a big physical toll just because just getting ready for the game and being mentally prepared, it's something that you're just extremely locked in. You use a lot of energy, but 2 games, 72 hours. We knew this was going to come up, so it's not surprising to us. And one thing that we always joked about in the locker room was like, it's just like we're back to AAU season because you'd play like 2-3 games in a day. So that's one thing that we had just to prepare ourselves for.
Boston College had some good success driving and getting to the paint, 30 points in the paint for the Eagles. What needs to get better in that area prior to NC State coming to town on Saturday?
Just like what I said before, energy, effort, and toughness, and trying to keep your man in front. And if he does go by you, just help side on the back. That's what we preach all the time. And so we just need to sharpen up on a couple of things, and we'll be all right.
It's been a long time for you getting back into the regular rhythm of being a part of things every single game. What was it like to have to wait for this moment, and now what's it like to finally be back and be contributing every single time out?
It's great just being back. Yeah, took me 360 days after my last game was Wake Forest last year, and just watching and trying to just understand the game and watch the game and just trying to develop my mental side of the game is just huge, and I feel like it helped me a lot.
Where do you feel the rust after 360 days? That's almost a full year not playing in a college basketball game. Where do you feel like you're still knocking some of the rust off?
I wouldn't say the speed of the game, but just like trying to just continuity of my teammates. I think that's a big thing, just because like just practicing with them, and practice is just great just because I get to just get used to the speed of the game more and get continuity to the teammates. So I'd say it's just the biggest thing.
That's Buff Johnson after Carolina's win over Boston College.
So at the end of the day, Adam, Carolina's played 20 games, 14-6, 6-3. Decent numbers. Tar Heels right there in the mix in the top half of the ACC, one game behind Miami, who won on a buzzer beater tonight at Virginia Tech. And so, again, Tar Heels, there's plenty to work on, but in just fine position right now.
And you're starting to see some separation in the league with maybe a pack breaking away. And right now, Carolina's in that pack, and that's all you can ask for, because Carolina's going to get the opportunity to play some of those teams here over the next month or so. And they did something positive tonight. They won a game without a big game from Armando Bacot, because he continues to struggle, got a sore hand, and just not shooting the ball very well, 1 for 10 against Boston College. But Carolina got the win, and that's something they're going to have to do again somewhere down the road, and now they know they can do it.
Speaking of pack, that's who the Tar Heels will see next. That is Saturday at 2 o'clock when the Heels host NC State. Adam, a very skilled offensive team in NC State and I don't mean this in that they don't play as a team, but they have skilled individual offensive players, guys who can make tough shots. And Tar Heels going to need to be better offensively, I think, on Saturday than we've seen them the last 2 weeks.
And better defensively, because I'm sure State watched Boston College drive to the basket and thought, oh, we've got players who are even better at doing that than Boston College. So Tar Heels are going to have to make more shots. They're going to have to defend better. Some tickets got released for that game, so they're available right now. We've mentioned this on the audio podcast. You're going to want to be in the Smith Center on Saturday at 2 o'clock for multiple reasons.
Carolina and State coming up on Saturday. We'll have another edition of the Rapid Reactions Carolina Insider after that one. But for tonight, Tar Heels grind it out, beat BC by 11. Thanks for being here on the Carolina Insider.